The music floated softly through the warm glow of the dusty lantern, a country bar tucked on the edge of Willow Creek, a town where everyone knew everything about everybody. On Friday nights, couples filled the wooden dance floor, spinning two old country songs and new Nashville hits. Laughter mixed with guitar chords, boots thudded rhythmically against the floorboards, and lights twinkled above like captured stars. But in this far corner, sitting alone at a small round table, was a woman nobody ever quite noticed. Her name was Lily Hart. Her hair was tied loosely behind her neck, dark curls falling forward every time she looked down. She wore a simple dress of blue cotton, wrinkled from the long drive she had taken to escape her tiring life back in Dallas. Her eyes were soft but thin, holding stories she didn't tell. She had come here on a whim, after a stressful week, searching for the quiet feeling of belonging she hadn't felt in years. She had hoped maybe the music would soothe her heart, but all she felt was invisible. People passed by her table, too distracted with their own fun to see the girl quietly blending into the shadows. Women whirled in dresses, men laughed with their buddies, and couples held each other close as they swayed to the music. No one asked her to dance, no one even said hello, and the longer she sat there, the louder the loneliness pressed against her chest. Lily wrapped her fingers around a cold glass of lemonade she ordered, it not because she didn't drink, but because tonight she needed all her emotions as sharp and clear as they'd been hurting all week. The announcer's voice crackled through the speakers, introducing the next performer, a local band tuning up their guitars. The crowd erupted with excitement. Lily tried to smile, pretending she was enjoying the atmosphere, but her throat tightened. She felt small in a room full of people who seemed so effortlessly alive. She wondered, not for the first time, what it felt like to be chosen first, to be seen, to be wanted in a room where no one knew her. She was 30 years old, yet she could count on one hand how many times a man had walked up to her simply because he wanted to. She sipped her drink, eyes drifting across the room, and then her heartbeat stuttered. A cowboy had just walked in, not the kind from movies, nor the kind who pretended. This one looked like he'd actually lived a life. He was tall, broad-shouldered, wearing dusty boots and a black hat that shadowed his eyes. His shirt was rolled at the sleeves, showing strong forearms, and his belt buckle glinted every time he took a step. He walked with a calm confidence, not arrogance, the kind that came from knowing who you were. The room noticed him instantly. Heads turned, women whispered, men greeted him with handshakes and nods, but he didn't look at any of them. His eyes scanned the room slowly, searching for something or someone, and Lily felt his gaze land on her. It wasn't the casual glance strangers exchanged. It was direct, curious, surprising, like he was trying to understand why a woman like her was sitting alone in a place like this. Lily quickly looked away, cheeks warming. She had never been good at eye contact. It always felt too exposing, like she was handing pieces of herself to someone she didn't know. The cowboy didn't look away. Instead, he started walking straight toward her. She froze. Her breath caught in her throat. Her heart pounded so loudly she could barely hear the music anymore. People shifted aside automatically, giving him space, as if everyone already respected his presence. When he reached her table, he removed his hat politely and offered a small smile. "Ma'am," he said, voice deep and warm. "This seat taken?" Lily blinked. "Oh, number. It's not. You can sit, thank you kindly." He pulled out the chair and sat across from her, placing his hat on the table. "Saw you sitting here alone. Thought maybe you could use some company." She swallowed. "Is it that obvious?" "Only to someone who knows what being alone feels like," he replied gently. She looked at him, surprised by the sincerity in his tone. His eyes were a deep shade of storm cloud gray, intense but kind. "I'm Lily," she said quietly. "Name's Mason Cole." The name fit him perfectly. "You're not from around here," he added. "No," she answered, "just passing through." "Funny, so am I." A small silence settled, comfortable rather than awkward. The music picked up again, a slow country ballad that couples rushed to dance to. Lily tried not to watch them, but Mason noticed. "You like dancing?" he asked. "I used to," she admitted, "but no one's asked me in a long time." Mason raised an eyebrow. "Hard to believe." "It's true," Lily said, a sad smile forming. "I've always been the type of girl people overlook." "Well," Mason said, standing and offering his hand, "I ain't a people. And I sure as hell didn't overlook you." Her breath hitched. He was serious. His hand hovered between them, patient and steady. "You don't have to," she whispered. "I know," he replied. "I want to." Her fingers trembled as she reached for him. When her hand touched his, warmth spread through her. Mason pulled her gently to her feet and led her to the dance floor. Eyes followed Amos, some surprised, some jealous, but Lily didn't care. For the first time in a long time, someone had seen her. The music was slow, comforting. Mason rested one hand lightly on her waist and held her other hand gently but securely. Lily felt her nerves unravel, replaced by something unfamiliar. "I hope." They moved together, slowly at first. Mason guided her with ease, his steps confident, his touch reassuring. Lily relaxed into the rhythm, letting her body trust his. "You're a good dancer," he murmured. "I'm just following you." "That's all dancing is," he said softly. "Two people trusting each other enough to move together." She looked up at him. "Do you always talk like that?" "Only when it matters." Her cheeks warmed again. She tried to look away, but Mason's presence pulled her gaze back every time. "What brought you here?" he asked. "It's a long story," she answered. "Not a very exciting one." "I've got time." She hesitated, then spoke. "I had a rough week. Work's been a broken bar hard. Life's been harder. I just needed a break from everything." He nodded, understanding. "I know the feeling." "What about you?" she asked. "Why are you passing through?" Mason looked down briefly, his jaw tightening as if he carried weight in his chest. "My father passed away 2 months ago. I've been trying to figure out what's left of my life now. Been traveling, stopping wherever the road decides." Lily felt a tug in her heart. "I'm sorry." "It's all right," he said softly. "We all lose someone, but sometimes the road gives us something back." They continued dancing in silence, the kind that didn't need words. Lily felt more seen in 10 minutes with Mason than she had in years. His touch wasn't possessive or demanding, it was gentle, respectful, grounding. When the song ended, Lily expected him to let her go, but Mason kept holding her hand as he walked her slowly back to her table. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't thank me yet," he said, pulling out her chair. "I ain't done spending time with you." She laughed, the sound surprising herself. It had been a long time since laughter came naturally. Mason sat with her, and they talked for nearly an hour. They shared stories, funny ones, painful ones, ones they hadn't told anyone in years. Lily learned he grew up on a ranch, loved old country music, and preferred simple things over complicated ones. Mason learned Lily was a graphic designer, loved reading, hated cold weather, and secretly adored horses but had never ridden one. With every minute, the ease between them grew. After a while, Mason leaned back, observing her with a thoughtful expression. "You know," he said, "when I walked in here, I felt out of place. Everyone seemed to have someone. I figured I'd stay for one drink and leave." "What made you stay?" Lily asked. "You," he answered without hesitation. "You looked like you were searching for something too." Her heart fluttered, unprepared for the honesty in his voice. Before she could respond, the band started another slow song, this one softer, more intimate. Mason stood again. "Come on," he said quietly, "dance with me one more time." Lily hesitated only a second before placing her hand in his. He pulled her close, closer than before, but still gentle. Her head rested near his chest, and she could hear the steady beat of his heart. They swayed slowly, lost in each other, the world fading until it was just them. Lily felt tears pricking at the corners of her eyes, not from sadness, but from a quiet realization. She had spent so many years convincing herself she was invisible, but tonight, One unexpected cowboy had crossed the crowded room just to choose her. The song's final notes drifted away, but neither of them moved. "Lily," Mason murmured. "Yes, would you like to see me again?" Her breath trembled. "Yeah, broken bar, don't know where I'm going next." "Neither do I," he said. "Maybe we could figure it out together." She looked up at him, hope looming bright and fragile. "Are you serious?" Mason brushed a stray curl from her cheek. "Darlin', I've never been more serious in my life." Lily felt something warm settle in her chest, something she hadn't felt in a long time. "Possibility." She nodded slowly. "Okay, I'd like that." Mason's smiley soft, genuine, and slightly amazed was enough to make her knees weaken. He took her hand again as they walked out of the dusty lantern into the cool night breeze. The stars above shimmered like they were applauding the small miracle. No one had asked her to dance, not until the cowboy crossed the room, and from that moment on, Lily knew her life would never be the same.